Boo! Just kidding. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Some Type of Artist, and today I'm going to be starting Let's Play Super Metroid. And dang, I just love that title screen, so I just wanted to let it go. Oh boy, Super Metroid, Super Metroid, Super frickin' Metroid. Which data should we clear? This one, I guess. You know what? I have this habit of always leaving my very first save file, but it's the worst I've done in terms of time, so sorry for a save file. You done, son. And then should we have controller settings? I'm okay, so I'll explain this later on, but sometimes, well, you know what? No, whatever. Let's just start the game. I'll explain all that.
The last
Don't worry.
Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Oh, thank God. It's troubled times, man. So, if you've never played a Metroid game before, I would actually really encourage you to start out with Super Metroid. I feel like, well, everybody knows at this point, right? Like, Super Metroid is pretty much almost unanimous. How do I do it? Unanimously? That's it. Unanimously agreed upon as the best Metroid game in the series. I have seen people disagree with that, and to each their own, but from all the 2D Metroid games I have played, I would agree that Super Metroid is probably the best of them, and I'll get into some more reasons why I think that as the game goes on, but just to sum it up, I feel like the world layout is the best in this one, and kind of encourages you to just replay the game and do it at a better time and get more items, and it never really feels like you're going out of your way once you know where things are, because I feel like places overlap pretty well at pretty good times, so you can, you know, get your extra pickups and everything. And they're not really out of the way, because Fusion's set up more where there's like a hub, and then you go to 6 separate areas, and there are spots where you go in between the areas themselves. You don't always have to return to the hub, but it's not as like, it doesn't feel as fluid as Super Metroid does. And Zero Mission just kind of makes you halt the game at the very last minute, and then go backtrack through the entire game again if you want to get like 100% pickups and stuff. So Super Metroid, I think, is my favorite because it doesn't have any of that. It just lets it's just got a great flow to it once you start remembering where things are, and I don't know, that's just like the most fun it is with me. It's also probably the easiest out of the 2D Metroids I've played too. I wouldn't say there aren't like tough moments or anything, but Super Metroid, I don't know. Super Metroid just flows well. I mean, what can I say? And it's not like I've been playing this game since I was a kid or anything either. I think this actually might be my first Let's Play on this channel where I don't have... it wasn't a game I played as a kid. I actually played through Super Metroid the very first time. It was probably a couple of years ago. This was back when I was like hunting down cartridges and stuff like that. Oh, hey, it's the baby Metroid. Everything's okay. Alright, Ridley, come on. We know you're here. We know you're here, Ridley. Come on out. Come on. Yeah. I know a lot of speedrunners will just take damage to speed things up. I've seen people shoot him enough times where he actually drops the Metroid. I've never been able to get him to do it, but I don't know. To kind of get me warmed up to the game, I usually just try. And I've kind of forgotten what buttons do what. But yeah, it's not really a hard game. I feel like it's good to jump into. But I've also had other Metroid games under my belt as well, so maybe that's another reason why I never really found it particularly difficult. But It's a good one to jump into. It's pretty cheap on the eShop, although I actually did buy this one on a cartridge at a flea market in Philadelphia, of all places. I was so excited I finally got it, because it was like one of like the top 5 games I wanted on a cartridge. Which seems silly, because it's like, it's a game I've never played before, so it's like, how would I know if I'd like it, you know? But I just had a feeling from everything I've seen of the game before that I was gonna love this game, and I'm so happy that I did. Because I've been hearing people talk about Super Metroid since it was one of the first things I heard people praise when I started watching YouTube a lot back in 2011. And it was, I wouldn't say it was hyped up, but it was just like this really respected game that everybody seemed to love, and I just had no experience with whatsoever. And, you know, at the time, I couldn't even tell you that I had a lot of experience with Metroid, particularly, because I had Fusion. Fusion was one of the Game Boy Advance games I got for Christmas, my freshman year of high school. And I got Metroid Prime that same Christmas, too. And for a while, those were pretty much the only 2 Metroid games I played. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect, because it's like, I loved Prime so much. So I don't really want to, like, say I love a series when I've only really loved one installment in it. But, you know, one thing led to another, and I tried out more and more Metroid games, and I liked them more and more, and not to knock the other ones, but the more I play like the other ones, the more I can appreciate like the map layout here. But again, I guess I'll go into that later. You know, I don't even know why I'm doing this, because if you fall all the way down here and you count just right, you can actually, there's just that one little obstacle on the side there, so you can just fall right down pretty easy. And while I have tried and attempted Metroid 1 a number of times, I have never been able to beat it or even really start it all that well. But what we just passed through there was actually the lair of Mother Brain from the first Metroid game. And then, even if you've never played a Metroid game before, but you have heard of them in like YouTube videos and stuff, this area will probably look a lot familiar, because it's the first area from Metroid 1. And we get the Morph Ball, the Morphing Ball, the Marumari, take your pick, whatever. And uh-oh, we've been spotted. My first couple of times I went through this, I completely forgot to like go through here. It didn't even occur to me that I can shoot down, because I know that was something you couldn't really do in Metroid 1. So, I guess, since we're just in the same area again, I don't know. My instincts from the few times I had tried Metroid 1 before, just, I don't know, wouldn't let me register the fact that I can shoot down now. But it's like, that's just another one of the reasons why I love Super Metroid so much, because it's like a lot of Super Nintendo games from this era, I guess. I guess they, I don't want to like knock them or anything, but a lot of them really just feel like updated versions of the first games in their series from the NES, because like A Link to the Past is just basically a better original Legend of Zelda. Mario World, I feel like, is just a better version of the Mario Brothers games. Super Metroid is basically a better version of Metroid 1, and like so on and so forth. So, but, and you know, I like I said, I didn't really play Metroid 1 all that much. It's a game, you know, I have watched people play online. It's a game I'm familiar enough with, but not particularly familiar with at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's like a game where if someone was like talking to me about it, I could like follow them along in a conversation, but if you asked me about it, it's like I couldn't tell you where to get like the ice beam or wave beam, or even how to really navigate the game at all. But from what I have played, it just kind of makes me appreciate Super Metroid like even more for what it did. You know, just like the ability to fire in 8 directions. You can use the shoulder buttons to aim up and down at a diagonal. You can shoot up, you can shoot down. I mean, Metroid 1, the very first room, the very first enemy, the zoomers that crawl across the ground, you can't even hit them with your beam. The beam shoots high above them. They're too low to the ground. You have to wait for them to crawl up walls to even be able to damage them. And the beam, it doesn't travel across the screen. It's like, that's a power-up. And it's like, I don't know, they really strip you down to the bare bones in Metroid 1 at the beginning of the game. They don't even have your health full up. You still have, like, the 99 health, but I mean that's your max, but they only give you 30. No, we can't go this way just yet. We need bombs. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm sure there's a speedrunning technique. Oh my god, the speedrunning community with this game too. It's like, there's just like so many different aspects of Super Metroid, you know? And I've been thinking about this for a while. I've kind of wanted to like start making a series of videos about why I love certain games and just kind of like gush and share my appreciation for them. Because, you know, if you've been listening to me up to this point, you know I have kind of a little bit of an issue with the increasing amount of negativity in reviews for video games in the past few years or so. So I kind of want to do like the exact opposite and just kind of like start showing the love and appreciation for things that just... Because I don't know, that's why I originally loved YouTube so much, just because I was finding all of these other people that shared a similar love for games that I did, and it's just really nice to be able to like feel connected in that way. But so I gotta like, that's just a save room. I'm not, I would normally save, but I think for the Let's Play to keep things moving, I'm pretty confident in myself to not have to stop at every single save station I see. So I'm probably just gonna hold off on a lot of save points. I'll still get like map rooms and stuff, because I mean, I guess from the way I'm playing, you can probably tell this is definitely not gonna be a speedrun of this game. I know the game pretty well, but I'm far from a speedrunner. I can get the 100% under 3 hours ending, which I guess in this game is just under 3 hours, because thankfully you don't even need to to get 100% of the items to affect your ending. Oh no, our friendly Chozo statue is a chorizo! Well, let's just shoot a bunch of missiles in his face. We're done with missiles. Let's get all of them back. I also love the sound effects and music in this game too. Like, this game has... It's got an atmosphere. It's got an atmosphere that I feel like wasn't in Fusion or Zero Mission. Zero Mission kind of felt like... How would I put it? It's like an adventure, but like that's not even close to being able to point down to what it is. It's because it's more of kind of like an uplifting, positive adventure. Like, you're the hero out to do a heroic deed, you know? And Zero Mission plays up the horror. I mean, it's hot atmosphere, but it's definitely kind of scary. But Super Metroid has like this, I don't know, it's got a really good atmosphere for like the unknown, for like loneliness, for exploration, I guess. I mean, Metroid music in general is usually pretty good. Some of it, you know, I guess you can debate, like, well, because music is subjective, obviously, but is it like the kind of music that you can, you know, bop your head to, the kind you have a tune stuck in your head, the kind that you'd like put on your MP3 player or your phone, I guess. I think I'm still the only person in the world using an MP3 player. Actually, let's check my map. Yeah, no, I'm good. Or is it like the kind of atmosphere like you would listen to, like something just relaxing to listen to, like while you're reading a book or trying to fall asleep or something like that? I think Metroid does kind of... I don't know why I selected my missiles for that. I think Metroid kind of does have enough variety in its different games to make things sound Metroid, but each game kind of has its own different little feel to it, which is kind of interesting, because a lot of people even debate what makes Metroid Metroid, kind of like in the same way of what makes Sonic Sonic. But this game in particular, I felt like the soundtrack really stood out to me. Now see, these space pirates here, one other thing I really like about this game, you know how when we got the morph ball in the earlier episode, earlier in the episode, because basically, I'll show this off now, since it is the Let's Play and all. This is actually leading to the entrance to the final area in the game, which I think is really cool. It puts you up front right away, but you can't access it. But you have this awesome golden statue of 4 monsters with glowing eyes, and it's like the kind of thing that like makes you wonder. And I love how Ridley is just sitting on top of there, just like he's the king of them all. Like all of him, all of these other 3 guys, they're just his, you know, his lackeys. Ridley's the real bad guy. And Ridley's not even the final boss. So, I don't know. That's just kind of one thing I thought was cool. But, I don't know. What was I saying? Actually, hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, but you know what? I don't want to... It's going to be a short episode this time. I'm going to cut it off here right before we get to our new area we're going to explore, and I'll pick up that thought on the next episode of Let's Play Super Metroid. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're excited with me about this journey, because I love this game, man. I really love this game, and I'm excited to be doing it.